House Trant of Geroge is a noble family from the Stormlands. The location of their seat, much like their early history, is as of yet undocumented. Thus, we cannot say if they are of first men or Andal descent, or if they predate the Targaryen conquest of Westeros. But what we can say for sure is that they are now one of the principal houses sworn to House Baratheon of Storm's End, and are considered one of the larger houses in the Stormlands. Their words are said to be, "So ends our foe," and they blazon their shield with a Zor and a hanged man. The first possible mention in history of House Trant we have comes during the infamous tourney at Ashford Meadow in 209 AC. Sir Duncan the Tall brought new armour from a blacksmith known as Stilly Pate. Pate also remade Duncan's oaken shield and had it painted by Tanzel. Pate mentioned to Sir Duncan that he had seen the shield adorned with a hanged man. Given this is the iconography that dons House Trant's arms, then it is speculated that it was a member of House Trant that Pate saw. Later, Duncan, having had his own shield destroyed in a trial by combat at the Chequy Water against Sir Lucas Itchfield, brought a new shield during his stay at Stony Sept. The shield had not been painted since its last owner, and therefore still featured a hanged man as its sigil. Again, this means it would most likely have been the personal arms of a member of House Trant at some point in its past. This inspired Duncan to adopt a temporary alias as the Gallows Knight for the wedding tourney at White Walls in 212 AC. By far the most notable member of House Trant is Ser Meryn Trant, a knight who is a member of King Robert I Baratheon's Kingsguard, and later that of Joffrey and Tommen in the main book series. Meryn is described as having droopy eyes and a red beard, and while we do not know his exact age, it is implied he is not particularly a young man, but not old either. As he is a Kingsguard knight, his armour consists of a shirt of enamel scales chased with gold, a tall helm with golden sunburst crest, greaves and gorget and gauntlet and boots of gleaming plate, and a heavy white woolen cloak clasped with a golden lion. Meryn is described by fellow Kingsguard knight Sir Jaime Lannister as a sly and cruel man, not qualities that would normally be associated with knighthood, let alone the Kingsguard. The Master of Whisperers, Lord Varys, is said to consider him very loyal to Queen Cersei Lannister. Given Varys' role at court, it is a fair assumption to take this claim at face value. During the events of Game of Thrones, Ser Meryn is one of the Kingsguard who accompanies King Robert Baratheon to Winterfell to name his new Hand of the King, Lord Eddard Stark. He later participates in the Hands tourney in King's Landing, but later being defeated by Loras Tyrell, the Knight of Flowers, much to Trant's annoyance. After the death of King Robert and the arrest of Eddard Stark, Ser Meryn is sent to apprehend the former Hand's daughter, Arya Stark, but is prevented from doing so by Syrio Forel, who unbeknownst to Trant was a feigned Braavosi swordsman who was under the guise as the girl's supposed dancing master. Later, after the death of King Robert and the ascension of Joffrey I Baratheon, Joffrey uses Meryn to beat Sansa Stark into obedience, which Trant seemingly seemed to do willingly. He is present in the throne room when the Lord Commander of the Kingsguard, Sir Barristan Selmy, is dismissed, and laughed at his former sworn brother's shame. During the events of A Clash of Kings, Ser Meryn rides in the joust during the tourney on King Joffrey's name day. He breaks 2 lances with Sir Hober Redwine, unhorsing him on the second pass, when a royal procession passes through King's Landing on its way back to the Red Keep and is attacked, causing a riot to break out. Meryn survives the riot despite the overwhelming numbers of foes. During the War of Five Kings, when the forces of Stannis Baratheon march on King's Landing at the Battle of the Blackwater, Ser Meryn is given the job of directly guarding King Joffrey. Once the battle is won, Meryn and the other remaining members of the Kingsguard spent hours over the next few days knighting more than 600 men who had won their spurs during the battle. During the events of A Storm of Swords, Ser Meryn is ordered by Queen Cersei Lannister to bring Sansa Stark to the Great Sept of Baelor to marry Tyrion Lannister, very much against her will. He is then again later encountered guarding the Red Keep by Sir Jaime Lannister during Jaime's return to King's Landing after spending months as a captive of Robb Stark. Jaime criticizes Meryn for failing to protect 2 monarchs in Jaime's absence. After the poisoning of Joffrey Baratheon at his own wedding, during the trial of Tyrion Lannister, who is accused of the murder murder, Meryn recounts stories of Tyrion beating Joffrey after the riot and tells the judges of other episodes when Tyrion threatened the life of the king. While technically telling the truth, as Tyrion did do as Trant claims, Tyrion's threats were more of a chastisement than real threats of violence. Later, Jaime Lannister berates Meryn for his willingness to beat Sansa on Joffrey's orders, pointing out that nowhere in the White Book of the Kingsguard do the Kingsguard swear to beat women and children. When Meryn protests that the Kingsguard are sworn to obey, Jaime counters that their first role is to protect the king, which includes protecting the monarch from themselves, and that he expects the knights to use common sense when his king gives him a questionable command. Ser Meryn plays a much smaller role in A Feast for Crows and A Dance with Dragons. He guards the apartments of the Hand of the King after the body of Lord Tywin Lannister is found until the arrival of Queen Cersei, and later Ser Meryn is present at the Red Keep when Cersei completes her walk of penance. He guards the Hand's apartments in Maegor's Holdfast on the night of Sir Kevan Lannister's assassination, and as of now, until the release of A Winds of Winter, that is all we know of House Trant and Ser Meryn.